Hello, everyone. I'm Sir David, and welcome to our lesson on one of the most powerful tools in communication, persuasive communication. Whether you're crafting a speech, writing an article, or just trying to convince someone of your ideas, persuasion plays a key role in how effectively we share and shape opinions. Let's dive into what this is all about and why it matters. Before we jump into the main lesson, let's take a moment to look at what we're aiming to learn today. Knowing our objectives will help you stay focused and understand what's most important as we go along. So, here's what you can expect to take away from this session. Define persuasive communication and identify its key functions and guiding principles through class discussions and examples. Explain the importance and application of persuasive communication in various real-life contexts. Construct a well-organized persuasive speech write-up that demonstrates understanding of persuasive techniques and principles. Let's start with the big picture. What exactly is persuasive communication? Persuasive communication is any message that is intended to shape, reinforce, or change the responses of another or others. Such responses are modified by symbolic transactions, messages, which are sometimes, but not always, linked with coercive force, indirectly coercive, and which appeal to the reason and emotions of the target. Generally, persuasion refers to such communicative activities that are mediated. Those that are face-to-face are called compliance gaining. Now that we've defined it, let's talk about what persuasion aims to effect. Persuasion can be targeted in three specific areas of a person's mindset. Cognition. Persuasion can be used to change individuals' beliefs about an object or an issue, which includes attributes, interpretation, definition, outcome, etc. Attitude. Persuasion can be used to change individuals' attitudes toward an object or an issue, which refers to the categorization of an object or an issue along an evaluative dimension, from negative to positive. Behavior. Persuasion can be used to change individuals' behavior, which is the overt actions regarding an object or an issue. In literature and media, persuasion is not just about changing minds, it's also an art form. Persuasion is a literary technique that writers use to present their ideas through reason and logic, in order to influence the audience. Persuasion may simply use an argument to persuade the readers, or sometimes may persuade readers to perform a certain action. Simply, it is an art of effective speaking and writing in which writers make their opinions believable to the audience through logic, by invoking emotions, and by proving their own credibility. Now, how do we actually persuade people? Persuasion can take different forms depending on the approach used to influence an audience. These types are based on how the speaker or writer appeals to the audience's mind and emotions. The three main types are ethos, pathos, and logos, each playing a unique role in making messages more convincing and impactful. Ethos, credibility. Ethos relies on the trustworthiness, character, or expertise of the speaker or writer to persuade the audience. When the audience respects or believes in the credibility of the source, they are more likely to accept the message. Pathos, emotion. Pathos appeals to the audience's feelings and emotions to influence their response. By tapping into emotions like fear, joy, anger, or compassion, the speaker can make the message more powerful and memorable. Logos, logic. Logos uses reason, facts, statistics, and logical arguments to persuade the audience. It aims to appeal to the audience's sense of rationality and intellect, making the message appear well thought out and convincing. So what does persuasion actually do for us? Let's look at its functions, what it helps us achieve as communicators. Persuasion serves many important purposes in communication. It allows us to express our thoughts, influence others, and encourage people to think more deeply about issues. By understanding its functions, we learn how persuasive messages can shape opinions, inspire action, and create meaningful change. Expresses feelings and opinions of the writer or speaker. Appeals to both emotions and logic to influence the audience. Convinces or wins over readers or listeners. Encourages critical thinking and reasoning in support of a point of view. Promotes research and fact-finding to support opinions. Influences thoughts and actions of the audience. Helps understand the power and nature of persuasive communication. To use persuasion effectively, we also need to understand the principles behind it. These are proven ways people are influenced in everyday life. The principles of persuasion help us understand how and why people are influenced. These principles guide the way we communicate effectively, whether we're convincing someone to agree with us, take action, or change their opinion. Learning them helps us become smarter and more responsible communicators. Principle of reciprocity. People tend to feel obligated to return a favor or gesture they have received. This principle works because individuals naturally want to give something back when they feel someone has done something for them. It builds a sense of trust and mutual respect. Principle of scarcity. Things become more desirable when they are perceived as limited or hard to get. Scarcity creates a sense of urgency and fear of missing out, FOMO, which can strongly influence decision-making. People place more value on opportunities that seem rare. Principle of authority. People are more likely to be persuaded by someone they perceive as an expert or authority figure. This trust often comes from credentials, experience, or appearance of knowledge. Authority adds weight to the message being delivered. Principle of commitment and consistency. Once people make a choice or take a stand, they are more likely to follow through with behavior that aligns with that commitment. This is because being consistent is seen as a sign of honesty and reliability. Small initial agreements can lead to larger commitments. Principle of consensus. When unsure, people look to the actions and behaviors of others to guide their own decisions. This principle is especially powerful in unfamiliar situations or when the opinion of the majority is clear. It leverages the idea that, if others are doing it, it must be right. Principle of liking. People are more easily persuaded by individuals they like or relate to. Likability can stem from physical attractiveness, shared interests, friendliness, or familiarity. The more people feel a personal connection, the more likely they are to say yes. To wrap it up, persuasion helps us share our ideas, change minds, and influence actions. By using ethos, credibility, pathos, emotion, and logos, logic, we connect with others in different ways. Its main functions include expressing opinions, convincing others, and encouraging critical thinking. When we understand the 6 principles of persuasion, reciprocity, commitment, consensus, authority, liking, and scarcity, we become better at communicating clearly and making smart choices. That wraps up our lesson on persuasive communication. I hope you now have a deeper understanding of how persuasion works, how to use it wisely, and how to spot it in everyday life. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in our next session. After watching the video, what's one key idea or insight about persuasive communication that really stood out to you? How do you think you can apply it in your daily life, studies, or future profession? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your takeaways.